Live from the Counterpunch Media Studio in Columbus, Ohio, this is All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. Brought to you by IPMNation.com. Get ready for the gong heard round the world.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is not a drill.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Good evening once again and welcome. We're trying some new things here which are really exciting. I'm just realizing the old adage, into every life a little rain must fall. So we're testing some of this out. So we're sorry that we're running a little bit behind this evening. And then, I was talking to Wayne just a little bit ago. I go, is it it's the State of the Union. So I don't even know what time that goes down or what time that goes on tonight. So, and I don't, you know what, Wayne, you should text me and let me know. Is this the 407th, the 408th, the 409th, whatever it is. But let's jump right into it and just say welcome to the 400th and whatever episode. Whatever episode this is on the number cast as it happens, thanks to our good friends at Telestream's Wirecast. Looks like the signal now is, who knows if it's going out or not, but in any event, we're at least trying it here live from a suburb of Columbus, Ohio. Multicast on Facebook and over on allnaturalbeing.com, and our Brian Brawdy app rebroadcast as much as I can tell on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube. Well, we're trying Twitter. I don't know if that's working or not, but there you go. Here we are in the Garden of the Mortals, the labyrinth of life itself, the ups and downs, the lefts, the rights, the pivots, the swerves. I got my hat a little on sideways here, but I look like I'm dressed for the part, don't I? Oh, it's like black tie event. The synchronicity and serendipity of it all. Blind alleys and cul-de-sacs, but never a dead end until you tap out. That's why we're always putting our heart's highest priority top of the list. You never can tell. Always calling on the true wit and wisdom and the wallop of your inner whisper, right? That's what we want. We don't want some tepid approach to all of it. We want the full on you. As I've said a couple times on Facebook the last couple days, go be you, because that's how we're going to out-brutal the brutal. That is the cut and shuffle that fate can deal you on a daily basis. And once and for all, bring your own bold. And that's what we're going to talk about this evening. Is I wanted to make sure, it looks like we are going out. Wayne says 410th. Wayne, thank you very much. 410th episode. Wow, I got to check on that, huh? 410th episode. We've got some pretty cool things coming, and Wayne and I were working on it just right up until we went live. So sorry for that little bit of a mix-up there, but we will get on top of it. 410th. Candace, thank you. Carla, thank you for joining us. Nice to see you. Wayne, as always, thank you for all the effort. Jamie, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us here at All Natural Being. And as I said earlier, we're talking a good bit about go be you. And that basically you have two options. Let me just see here. What does it says? We are only broadcasting on Facebook. Oh, well, all this effort. And we're right back where we started from. Well, you know what? We're happy to be here on Facebook up until the time we get booted off. So thank you very much for that. I also noticed, in case Matt Connerton is listening, that this is really wild, but we're having a little bit of a difficult time tonight with but as well. So we'll have to figure that out. But, we'll get on top of it. All right, so what we are talking about today over on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, if you happen to be on that and you don't know, we're at Brian Brawdy. If you get a chance to stop on over, apparently we're going to put a lot of effort into getting our message out on Instagram as well. And it's really a very simple message. And that message is mortal up or get smacked down. Right? And we're not going to target anyone. We're not going to say, oh, this is the person smacking you down, or that's the group smacking you down, or you know what, maybe it's just yourself smacking you down, right? But what we're talking about and what we've been working on all day, also broadcasting on Twitter, Wayne says. Wayne, thank you very much. We're over on Twitter. So YouTube, the one we've been putting all this effort into, YouTube is the one. Right? Well, okay, so YouTube is the one we're not going out to. But Facebook, and we're very happy to be here on Twitter as well. What we're talking about this evening, I don't know if you notice, I have my nice little pointed hat on. Let me see if I turn it this way. Kind of helps with a little bit of the swelling. See, do I look punk rockish enough? There we go. We'll pull that down like that. Maybe that's looking good. I don't know. What are you going to do? It's the face I have. You got to work with it. Right. So in any event, we're talking about how you can mortal up, right? It's not just a good idea. It's like a recommendation of what we're going to have to do to watch in the future. Mortal up or be smacked down. And that's what we realize more and more, that the people that are truly themselves. I got a tweet from someone today with a couple 100,000, I don't know how many listeners or followers or retweeters or whatever it is that he has. Oh, and let me also say, in case Lee, he may not be on the night, I'm not sure, but I want to thank Lee for sending me the picture, texting me the picture last night of the orangutan. That's always good to see, which I guess would be a good time to mention that you can either call us at 833-MINDUPS, MINDUPS, just like push-ups or sit-ups or pull-ups. You can call us or text us at that number. And if you want me to do the math, do a little bit of the heavy lifting, 833-646-3877. If you want to text as opposed to putting something up here in the feed, which I guess now we're on Facebook and on Twitter. Yes, Lee is. You missed him. Oh, thanks, Lee. And thank you, Candace, for letting me know he was here. So Lee texted me a picture last night of an orangutan, so thank you very much for that. And again, as I would mention, give us a call or give us a text, 833-646-3877. And somewhere in my memory, I remember having to mention that standard rates. Well, yeah, I'm willing to share. At some point, I'll get a camera turned right on whatever the text feed is, so we'll be able to do that as well. All right, Wayne, just a little bit of housekeeping. The signal here, at least in Wirecast, keeps flashing green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red. If I was driving a sports car, I couldn't make it through the intersection. Green, yellow, red. I'd be looking up at the traffic signal going, will you make up your freaking mind, please? But in any event, green, yellow, red, whatever that means. All right, so this evening we're talking about mortal up or get smacked down. Oh, and also I was pandering. Thank you for the share. I was also pandering that if you're over on Instagram, and you get a chance to stop on by, it's at Brian Brawdy, and we're working on the technology, because here's ultimately the thing. Regardless of how much time I have left in this little soiree called life, I'm going to be rededicating my mission of making sure that the people that are here, that the people that listen, the people that come and hang out for the show, the people that listen, probably Spectrum problems, just like us, to throw Spectrum under the bus. Hey, but it's 50-some degrees here, so, it's like 60 degrees warmer than it was last week. But, thankfully, Spectrum, no problems last week when it was cold, so thank you very much for all that. Thank you. But a part of getting back to the mission is that I was saying, okay, great, here's what we're going to do. From now on, we're going to do everything we can to remind folks of who they ultimately are, what they're ultimately capable of, and where it is they could end up in this life if they just remembered this one simple phrase: go be you. Or I guess if you're saying it to yourself, you'd say, go be me. Repeat to yourself, go be me. And what does that mean specifically? What is it that you're up to? What is it that you would want? How can you put your heart's highest priority top of the list? That's what we'd be focusing on. So what is it for you? What is that thing? Now, I know Jamie, she's got a new gig. She's fired up about that. I know Lee, in terms of copywriting. Wayne, in terms of programming and working internet stuff, absolutely a passion of his. What are some of the things that you would be excited about? Some of the things that you would just be pumped about if you were to put your heart's highest priority top of the list? Because ultimately, as we say all the time, the talking about mortal up, what would it take to mortal up? What would it take to go crush your can't? Well, what's that going to take? So forget your critics, the walking, talking pits of quicksand, right? The human Venus flytraps, forgetting all that. If you were to mortal up just for the moment, what would it take? One, for you to put your heart's highest priority, top of the list. And two, what would you get if that was something that you did? What would be the outcome of that? Good evening, Kathy. Kathy, thank you very much for stopping by and joining us here at All Natural Being. Does anyone know? I know the State of the Union is going down this evening. I don't know what time it starts. But if you know that and can throw in a fair, Brian Bouchard. Brian, nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by once again. Thank you for piling on with Lee and admitting to people that I fell asleep because I can only have one non-alcoholic beer. I seem to remember, and I didn't want to put in the feed, Brian, but I seem to remember there was a little more that you and I were kicking around the day we first met at the back door, which I should mention is a bar, just so everybody knows. Brian and I met at the back door in, where was that? Camillus, New York. Jeremy, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Nice to see you here at All Natural Being. Also, Candace, thank you. 9 p.m. Well, we'll be off. If the internet doesn't kick us off, we'll be out of here long before 9 p.m. So that for those that want to bail and watch the State of the Union, and I have to tell you, if you're into that kind of thing, and a lot of people are, I figure, why not watch? I would just like to see, you're busy giving a speech, half the aisle, half the place stands, the other half doesn't stand. But what's always interesting to me, good evening, Brother Wallman. Thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. What's always interesting to me is these are our top-notch, top shelf. These are the officials that we elect, and their nose is so out of joint, they'll boycott. Their nose is so out of joint, they won't stand. Their nose is so out of joint, they'll sit on their hands. Their nose is so out of joint. I would love it if I had a gig. Let's see, we'll pick Brian Bouchard. If I worked for you, and I decided I didn't like something was going on, so I was going to sit on my hands, wasn't going to show up, I was going to boycott work and this and that. How long would you let me keep your gig? Now, I know you're thinking, whoa, Brian, it's not like you have a gig as an announcer for the Super Bowl, so you can predict what this game score, the final score is going to be, and you can be totally off base, totally miss the ball, and you still get a job. You still get a gig. But just hear me out on this. Suppose you're not a meteorologist, right? And I have good, dear friends that are meteorologists, so I say this with all loving and kindness, but, a good meteorologist can be wrong 90% of the time, and they still get to keep their gig. Or a football announcer for the Super Bowl. They can be 100% wrong, and other than Tony Romo, they still get to keep their gig. So, Brian, let me ask you, can you imagine Walzheimer's? The demon Krantz have Walzheimer's. Thank you, Kathy, very much. Can you imagine having a job where you didn't like the way it was going, so you didn't show up? You sat on your hands. You didn't participate. You boycotted or this or that. How long would you last in that job? How long? So that's what gets me with the media. And I know I'm part of it. And again, talking about dear friends, I'm a part of the media. But what gets me and what causes me to always believe that it's coming, right? As I said earlier today in the post, it's coming. Either mortal up or be smacked down. Is everyone's, let's get a picture of the airplane landing. Let's get a picture of what this senator has to say, or this head of the House has to say, or any of them from either party. Let's just get a picture of them on a golf course. Let's get a picture of them fly fishing. Who gives a crap? These brainiacs that decided, I don't like the way it's going to go. So instead of getting into the octagon, mixing it up and go, no, I'm going to fight for what it is, they go, turn off your TV. I'm boycotting it. I'm not going to go. Right? I'm going to join the guy that thought the island of Guam is going to tip over. And I promised everyone I wouldn't say Hank Johnson, so you didn't hear it from my lips. Hank Johnson would never say that name again. Right? But here's someone that we elected that thought the island of Guam was going to tip over if we put a couple more tanks with Marines in them on. And that was my best Lee Rowley face, by the way. What'd you think of that? Right? I wish I could show you the picture of this orangutan. It looks as puzzled as I did. Right? But these are the brainiacs that we elect, that run our country, that run the world. Think about it. What do you think? Give me a call, 833-646-3877, 633 mind-ups, just like push-ups or sit-ups or pull-ups, or you can give me a text if you would like. We'll read it right here on air if that's something you agree with. Candace says, media is our worst enemy. Anything for a story. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. Now, that's a song, if I remember, Candace. There was a family in Russia, a family in China, and a family in Kansas City that decided, oh, I don't like those people. We need to go to a nuclear war. Oh, I don't like those people with their fishing boat on my side of the water. We need to light them up. Oh, I don't like these people. No, it's always the politicians. Have you noticed that? The same brainiacs that are like, I'm boycotting. Forget about taking your ball and going home. They're not even bringing their ball. They don't even want to sit in on this. I don't know. All right, so what do we got here? I wish I could find a way. We have to work on that. So there you go. So it's not working on. Oh, now we're back, maybe. It said broadcast interrupted. Don't know what that means, but there you go. So Lee sends, I shouldn't say, right? Because some people, could be from anyone, but somebody sent me a text. The rumors are true. I do fling poo, and it's of a chimpanzee. Honestly, I don't know if she is Native American or not. Move on. I promised I wouldn't say Pocahontas. I just promised I wouldn't do it, right? Just like I said Hank Johnson, I wouldn't say that. All right, so but here's the scoop. These are the people that we're electing that we're electing, to put into office, to run our country, to decide. People say all the time, oh, we couldn't be socialist anymore. That's just not going to work. But we keep electing folks like that. So I don't know. I'm not as certain as everyone else that this is, that this is going to go as smoothly as everyone else thinks that it is. So again, in coming back to what we suggested earlier, you got to mortal up or be smacked down. You've got to learn to think for yourself, to stand up for yourself, to do those things. Because I got to tell you, I don't know anymore. You look at some of the elected officials from all the parties, but you look at some of the elected officials that we put in power, and maybe that's it, right? Maybe that's it. Spartacus is running. I know. What is his name? Cory Spartacus Booker is running as well, right? But these are the people that we elect. These are the people, and at least, look, you got to give Cory some credit. He was smart enough to make sure that they passed a law, I think it was in New Jersey, that he gets to run for Senate and run for president. So if he doesn't win one, he gets to stay in the running for the other. What kind of gig is that? How do you get that kind of gig where you end up with a government job no matter what happens, no matter what the voters decide? And that's why I say all the time, mortal up or be smacked down. These are the people that we're putting in power. These are the people that we let sit in judgment of what we're ultimately going to do. These are the people that make up the rules. These are the people that talk about the rules of the road. These are the people that decide how you and I are going to have to behave. And they won't go to a meeting. They won't sit down. Yes, truly special. Kathy says, I think there's a lot of voter fraud. Candace says, how special? That is absolutely true. Another text, the rumors are true. I do fling poo. Thank you very much. Oh, you know what? That may have been yesterday at 8:30. I don't know. Or was that today? Oh, yesterday at 8:30. Oh, no, that's today. That's today. Thank you very much for that. Say, apparently, it's prime. Look, just like the chimpanzee, I'll say anything on there. All right. Oh, no, don't anyone be triggered. Don't anyone be outraged. Don't anyone be offended, saying that, PETA's calling the people for the ethical treatment of animals because I said I reminded myself of a chimpanzee. Here we go. Right? So tonight, as we get ready for the big show, probably more exciting really than the Super Bowl, if you think about it. Probably more exciting, watching who comes, who doesn't, who stands, who doesn't, who shoots a dirty look, who doesn't, who's this, who's that, all these other things. But these are the people that we elect to sit in judgment of us. Are you kidding me? We wouldn't hang out with these people at a cocktail party if we had to. Really, can you think of some politicians where you go, yeah, I don't want to hang out and have a beer with him. Yeah, there's just no way that's going to happen, right? Just no, I'm just not doing it. Candace, thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. So Wayne, if you could let me know if we're still coming out. We're coming out to Facebook and Twitter. Maybe YouTube is totally shot for the night. I don't know, but we'll get on top of that. Thank you all as we get ready to do this, because here's the big breaking news. I know you're thinking, what, we're going to talk about more than State of the Union? I know, right? What are you going to do? The big breaking news is very shortly, probably in the next week or two, all the votes are in. All the bigwigs have cast, their ideas and talking to everyone here in the thread and the like. But when I started 400, Wayne says, I think he said 410 episodes now. When I started 410 episodes ago, it was a morning show. Up until they found my golf ball and said, oh, no, that's got to come out. Up until they found my golf ball, this was a morning show. And we get a lot of tweets, a lot of messages on Instagram, a lot of people emailing me and just calling me. And even someone that stopped me the other day while I was out and about running around going, we really miss you getting a morning show. We really miss you broadcasting and getting everybody fired up first thing in the morning. So very, very shortly, what we're going to be doing is we'll move from 6:30 to 7:30 Eastern time. Right? And we'll still have the gong heard around the world. But what we're going to do is prepare all of our friends that are hanging out here, but prepare to mortal up for the day ahead, right? Get up, make my cup of coffee with my butter and my coconut oil and everything else, right? A little bit of cinnamon because I just can't stand the taste of coffee. I called you all kinds of things. Laugh out loud. Thank you, Candace, very much. I'm sure you have. Thank you, sister. I appreciate it. But what we're going to be doing very shortly is moving, if we can figure out the technology, but we'll be moving to a morning show. We'll go back, and I think what we're going to do is Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 7:30 Eastern time. So if you have a final vote one way or another as to how you would like to see that go, now, remember, all throughout the day will be all of our independent broadcasts over to Mortal Up, our YouTube page of Mortal Up, which you'll be able to get on BrianBrawdy.com, and then all of, the iTunes, what is it called, iHeartRadio and Spotify, all these other things. All of our content for that day will be there. Kathy says, I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, Kathy, very much. I have to be honest with you. It's with the doctors now saying, look, you got to get a little more rest than we first thought you were going to need coming out of this fourth surgery. Still on Facebook and Twitter, no YouTube. All right. Well, sorry. Well, if you're a YouTube watcher, you're not even able to watch to hear me apologize. So, or apparently, even if you're a radio person, you're not here to watch that happen either. So there you go. All right. Gonna be lovely. So what I wanted to make mention, I'll just go ahead. Yes, sure, why not? What I wanted to make mention of this evening is we were talking about that we might be going, and it looks like we will be going to mornings very shortly, and we hope that you'll continue to spend some portion. G is shutting down. Interesting. G is shutting down. Huh. I don't know. Kenneth, I'm not sure. G, I'm missing that, but thank you for letting me know. But we'll be going to mornings very shortly and hopefully use that to build people's sense of self, to build our community's sense of mortaling up before before, what do we used to say? I think we said before your feet hit the floor, before your head gets out the door, right? We want a chance to be able to work. Google, thank you very much, Candace. Google is shutting down. Interesting. I didn't even know we were on Google. What are you going to do? Right? Brain tumor. So before we get ready to wrap, remember, as a part of this, we're going to continue to up the technology. I know it doesn't seem like it tonight, right? But we're going to continue to up the technology. We'll continue with the app, and we'll continue building out some other things. We've got a really cool clock that we're incorporating, some tweets that we're going to incorporate, and some other things, so that when we're ready to launch for our morning show, our return to morning shows, which will probably be around 420, 425 in terms of episodes, we'll be ready. I'll be the quiet one in the morning. Thank you, Jamie. I don't know. I've hung out with you till like 2 or 3 in the morning in that 24-hour thing. You weren't all that quiet, but thank you. I'm hoping that you will join us and continue to hang out with us first thing in the morning. At least, before when we were in Central Time, you're always like, they're ahead on the East Coast, but now we'll be 6:30 to 7:30 East Coast time. So we're hoping to catch everybody bright and early. All right, we're going to go ahead and give out the number one more time. If you want to send us, if you want to send us a last-minute text of some kind of hairy primate, we're at 833-MIND-UPS, although you probably have it in your speed dial by now. I don't know where all you are. I will be there. Thank you, Jamie, very much. Candace, I will make sure that you know where we are wherever we end up. All right, if you want to send me one more picture of a hairy primate, 833-MIND-UPS. You're welcome to text us, 833-646-3877 in our closing minutes here of All Natural Being. Again, I have concerns when we go back to the morning show. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so very much for joining us. We super appreciate the support. And whatever your plans are for the rest of the evening, we hope you have a very safe one. And until tomorrow night, until we work out some of these kinks, we trust that you'll get out there and mortal up. Have an absolutely fantastic evening.